There we go. Everything's been pressed that I need to press, hopefully.
I love it. Perfect.
Hello, everyone.
She's depressed. No, she's pressed all the right buttons at the right moment.
I'm recording, I'm live streaming, everything. Hello.
Hello, darling.
Hello, you all right? Welcome, everyone, to the Zoom.
Spirits of the dead, spirits of the living, kindred, welcome. Welcome to Crossbones Graveyard, vigil that honours the outcast, both dead and alive. You're very welcome to stay with us. Oh, equally welcome to just keep on passing through. Welcome to the live vigilers. Welcome to Jackie, I often forget to say this, and to her Zoom vigilers. We have been standing at these gates, we're in our 21st year. Tonight is the 243rd consecutive monthly vigil from when we started in June 1994. Some number, a long time ago number. And we've been coming every single month, even during lockdown. People came here. I did not. I was locked away, being frightened. But some brave souls came out, lit the lights, poured the gin, lit the Open Pathways candle. But now we're back. My name's Jennifer, and I am part of the Magical Collective. When John was retiring down to Glastonbury, after creating this vigil and starting all the work that has gone on for almost the last 30 years, both the magical work and the physical labour to save the Crossbones Graveyard, he retired after 23 years of serving the goose, and he set up what he called the MC, the Magical Collective. About a dozen of us that we would then carry on and run the vigils. And then, of course, COVID happened and people moved away and people got sick and university happened. And it turned out that I was the only old one amongst them and wasn't going anywhere. So when we started back again, I was kind of the last person standing. So mostly it's me, with the occasional addition of other members of the MC. And so, yeah, if any of you feel like you might like to become a member of the MC and do what we're doing, you can be a master of ceremonies, as is Di, or a mistress of ceremonies, as some of the younger women have been, or you can be a right magic ceremonies, as well as me. And you would be very welcome to come and join us. So the reason we're here, obviously, is what lies beyond the gates, Crossbones Graveyard. A pauper's burial, known as a post-medieval burial ground, because the records only go back into the early 1700s. But for the last 200 years of its existence, it was a pauper's burial ground under the auspices of St Mary Obery, which is now Southwark Cathedral. They buried the poorest of people who lived in this area, and they were buried here crammed in. You can see an example of what being crammed in looks like in that photo down there, as Louise is showing you. And until 1853, when it was forcibly closed, they were burying people so intensely they were only 1 foot, burying them 1 foot underneath the ground. And then for the next 100 and odd years, by authority, it was forgotten. Lots of people do remember it as what it was, and different things. It was a fairground. There were 2 schools built on it for poor children. And there was always somebody fighting to stop it being more developed than it was already. We, the people, Sanna is our original fighter for Crossbones, who started, this is still the Crossbones Graveyard campaign, has been fighting for the life of Crossbones to be saved, to not be developed, and to become a garden of remembrance for our outcast dead. So for this iteration, there's been 30 years of both magical work here at the gates during the vigil and at other times, and the physical labour, as I say, going to meetings, taking, making petitions and all sorts of things to stop what was originally proposed as a 5-storey office block with underground car park in the early 90s. We currently, with Bankside Open Spaces Trust, who hold the lease, they've got a short lease at the moment, and that will be going to a longer lease of 30 years rolling on into the future. As soon as Ghastly Development, which has been misnamed the Liberty, is built. It will also be the only development I can imagine, and possibly you can imagine, where the garden will be tarted up before the building, So that's Crossbones Graveyard with 15,000 throwaway souls. And on the night of the 23rd of November 1996, another number, when John Constable, who is a shaman, a performer, singer, was walking the streets in dialogue with a spirit voice he had contacted via his shamanic double John Crow. At 3 o'clock in the morning, he's walking down the streets and he has stopped at the gates, not the ribbon gates then, they were red iron gates there, looking into a wasteland of nothing much, scarred and big thorn. And a voice, the goose voice fell into his head. What a night in hell they are tolling the bell for that lay at the tavern. Well, we know how the carrion crow that feast in our Crossbones grave. Now, John had heard of the Winchester geese, the women of the Liberty of Winchester, who were licensed for 500 years by the bishops of Winchester to ply their prostitute trade, but being denied a Christian burial. But he had never heard of Crossbones Graveyard. So Sanna, as I say, had been fighting for some time, and he went to her and she told him the details of what was going on. And this is when John started as well, working in his own magical way by starting the vigils and by also trying to protect, along with what became the Friends of Crossbones for these years. And we've ended up with the monthly vigil. It's very simple what we do. We honour the outcast, we refresh and renew the shrine, and we reclaim the goose's secret history. Now that name, the secret history, might be a bit odd to you, but hopefully as we go through the vigil, you'll get to know the goose a bit more. The goose who says she is the spirit of this place, who has woken up from her sleep, her eternal sleep, with the outcast dead, when TfL started to build the electricity substation for the Jubilee line that you can see there, tearing through from eternity into our time to bring her rival, sexy, funny, and extremely moving message of healing and unity. And what we do when we're here is we work a simple set of rituals by which we slowly start to shed this independent nature of ourselves just for a moment. We become part of a single unified consciousness, the living, the dead, those yet to be, all held within one consciousness, and we are single sparks of that consciousness. And as we go through the ritual, so we start to allow this to happen. And the first thing we do is we hold the light. We have a 1 minute silence. We use that minute to start to let ourselves just be much like this candle. We're standing in the street in the city of London, constant noises all around us. But each individual noise isn't a constant noise. Like the train going past, 1 minute it's there, it rises, it's almost deafening, and then it disappears again. Another noise rises and disappears again. Really like the waves on the sea. Our own noise inside, our constant thoughts, as the book says, liberty, gibbety, liberty, liberty. It's between the arts and fast and walk out and ask it. Those things. We just let them take a back seat. What we concentrate on for 1 minute is this candle flame. And somewhere inside each of us, I know we reflect this candle somewhere. One little spark in the dark. Each of us. And as we stand just for 1 minute, holding the light, this candle that is called the Open Pathways candle that we light, so all the beings in all the worlds may be truly in liberty. And we do exactly as the Buddha tells us. She says, relax, dear. You're over here. Don't go busting on the tree. And she also tells us to pipe down, shut your mouth. Would you want to laugh? Somebody think of that. And hearken to the silence of his brimming. next ritual is called the act of binding and loosing. This is where we tie our ribbons to the bed. Back in the old days, every so often people would come and they wouldn't bring anything. And personally, it made me feel bad. So I took it upon myself to provide ribbons so that if somebody hadn't brought a gift to hang on the gates, then they wouldn't be without. Sometimes there are more people than there are the 23 ribbons, so you have to hang a virtual ribbon on the gate, or imagine you're hanging yourself on the gate. But what we do is we imbue our ribbons with whatever power we want to give them, a prayer, a thought of love for somebody, a request. If you're overflowing, you've got too much grief, you can imbue your ribbon with that and just hang it on the gates to loosen the weight that you're carrying. Sometimes people can't imagine what they can put into their ribbon. So one thing that John always used to say was, imagine the person that you really hate the most in the whole world, and then wish them exactly what you would wish for yourself, and hang that on the gate. Yeah. It's an act of giveaway. And a giveaway is a very profound act. So we're giving away this part of ourselves that we gift to the gates, and then we step away. This practice of letting go of things that we might want to hold on to. I very often imbue my ribbon with my son Gary, because even though he's gone 5 years, it's still, you can imagine. And perhaps you've experienced the same thing or worse. It's always an act of letting him go. I know he's gone, but letting him go. So Gary goes on the gates. Whatever you would like to put on the gates. And then we perform this ritual beneath the repetition of what John always called the echo prayer. It's not a prayer, it's a statement of what we're doing. And we repeat it 5 times from beginning to end. And I and other people who know the prayer will be speaking it over you as loudly if you know it as you can, so other people can hear you. And you might be able to pick up a word or a phrase that you can echo back that means something to you. I would like to say, please, be aware of where you're hanging your ribbons. These ribbons are meant to dance in the wind. But if we hang our ribbon and tie down the other ribbons, then our ribbon might be lovely, but all the other ribbons will then be tied down. So maybe try and find somewhere that there's not so much ribbon, or find some way to let all the ribbons dance free. The Zoom vigil will be hanging their virtual ribbons at the same time as us. And you will hear them repeating the echo prayer now as well, because this is one of the times when the Zoom vigil are unsilenced. I can't remember what word might be.
Unmuted.
Unmute. So this is how the echo prayer goes. Here, lay your hearts, your flowers, your book of hours, your fingers, your
Lay
thumb,
your hearts, your flowers, your book of hours, your fingers, your thumbs, your mission mums. Here hang your hopes, your dreams, your might have beens, your locks, your keys, your mysteries. Here lay your hearts, your flowers, your book of hours, your fingers, your thumbs, you'll miss your mums. Here hang your hopes, your dreams, your might have beens, your locks, your keys, your mysteries. Here lay your hearts, your flowers, your book of hours, your fingers, your thumbs, your miss your mums. Here hang your hopes, dreams, your might have beens,
your locks,
your locks, your keys, your mysteries.
Say your hearts,
lay your hearts,
flowers,
flowers,
Your book of hours,
flowers,
your fingers, your thumbs, your miss you mums. Here hang your hopes, your dreams, your might have beens, your locks, your keys, your mysteries. Here lay your hearts, your flowers, your book of hours, your fingers, your thumbs, your miss you mums. Here hang your hopes, your dreams, your might have beens, your locks, your keys, your mysteries.
your mysteries.
Here lay your hearts, your flowers,
Your book of hours, your fingers, your thumbs, your miss you mums. Here hang your hopes, your dreams, your might have beens, your locks, your keys, your mysteries.
if any of you heard about Crossbones on Radio 4, just saying those two words in that same sentence just makes me giggle. If any of you heard about Radio 4 on Crossbones on Friday, and you're wondering where all the woo-woo sounds and the chanting is, you missed it. But it might be back next week. Now, our next ritual is called Sacred Offerings, where the MC steps aside and invites anybody that wants to offer a short offering to the gates of Crossbones. It's not an open mic, so we ask that it has something to do with Crossbones by your own lights. And that's about it, really. So what we'd like to know, what we do is we start and we end with goose words, which I'll be reciting tonight. If anybody wants to be a goose rhapsode, please come and talk to me about that as well. But is there anybody that would like to offer something at the gates tonight? Pip and Sanna, good old whoever she was. Okay, it's going to be a quick night tonight. Right, okay, number 3. Okay, so goose words first to introduce it. This poem is called Gaia. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, I riddle me goose's song. If God's the man with the master plan, who's the dark-eyed girl who just lets it unfurl? It's making it up as it goes along. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Sam, do you want to be first? Right,
I thought I'd do a bit of information.
well, just do what you like.
So it's interesting that Jen introduced the gates to you, but what's important to remember is not where the gates started. The gates actually started where in the road is next down, where it says Earthly Lives, and in the manoeuvrings of the development they claimed the gates were decaying and they needed restoration. And so they made a negotiation because they were frightened that the people who came to the vigil were going to be angry about the gate being tampered with. And so the agreement was made to move the gates down to the other road, which is here. But of course, what wasn't necessarily foreseen, although questions were asked, that actually meant that part of the garden was taken away as well. And in that part of the garden, they've now built an electrical substation. And the question has to be asked about the agreement of the land, but the agreement is absolutely firm that there will be no development on this land at the end of the 30 years. So we still actually do have a campaign ongoing for people to support the fact that 30 years is as long as I've been doing it. It's not long enough. And actually, the ground deserves to have what Millwall's just got, which is a in perpetuity agreement on the ground, and the women deserve as much themselves. So,
Thank you.
one more bit of info before you do it. So the shocking thing that I found out in the last couple of weeks, because I've always believed that by calling this a wasteland in the planning documents, they were disguising the fact that it was a known burial ground. It was an undeniable burial ground. It's on all the ancient maps as the Crossbones burial ground. And what I found out was when a substation is going to be built, the Transport for London or any railway up and down the country wanting to build a support building for the railways or the underground is entitled to dig up a graveyard without any demonstration that they're doing so to the community, which I found absolutely shocking that it came through some architects that were working on another site which had a graveyard on it, and
Is that still current?
that is fact. Yeah.
But we also currently, just so people aren't desperate worried, they are not, nobody is allowed to dig into Crossbones currently.
Well, all I'm saying is the agreement is 30 years. When they built the substation there, they didn't notify anyone there was a graveyard. That only came about by me going down the local John Harvard library and seeing it was a graveyard, asking some questions. But what I think the question that I haven't resolved yet is what were the quantity of bones that were actually exhumed when they done the substation, because there's talk of 140, and we know that isn't possible. That's a substation ground that they owned to the neighbourhood of the size of the substation, and it would appear that there is this proper guideline that is given to this country about the respectful removal of bones when they're called disarticulated, which those bones are. Disarticulated bones are treated as nothing that has any self. So that's the
on these campaigns. The first campaign was called "This is the Crossbones Graveyard." Second campaign was called "Save the Crossbones Graveyard." I got them the wrong way round. Save the Crossbones Graveyard. This is the Crossbones Graveyard. And when she was still ignored, the third and final one, which is still going on now, this is still the Crossbones Graveyard. Every time a poster goes up that you will see, there are years of work and going to meetings and fighting for this, our sacred land here, where the bones be crossed, be hallowed ground. Pip, would you like to say?
Evening, everybody. This is just a small poem, well, not really poem, but it's called The Men Who Said No. No, said the consultant, silver hair and suave, his gold encrusted Parker pen crossed out the prescription written by the young doctor, now off duty for the weekend. Can't have that. Too risky in her condition. With that, he left my mother to endure days and nights of unremitting pain, watched by her agonized family. At last, the young doctor returned to administer morphine, mercy, and death. No, said the young vicar, twisting his handkerchief nervously as he looked at us, shell-shocked that my husband and their brother had decided to end the torment of his life. If it was my decision alone, I would hold a funeral service, but my parishioners wouldn't like it. So instead of the solemn consolation of the church with hymns and prayers, we had the funeral home with kind words of music. These were the men who believed life should be trained to the bitter dregs, regardless of suffering in body or mind. They polished their halos with the blood and tears of others, the virtuous ones, the men who said no.
So emotive, so much suffering in those few words, so much power over, and this creativity that stands up and itself says no in response. Thank you. Thank you. Don, would you like to step forward?
And have a poem, something out of it. It was in the play, onto the play, a year later she last year, her sister passed away. She was a form of outcast, very semi-trans, conservation of genders, worked extremely hard for women's rights, and an activist in the film to produce some of the most impactful for social and environmental documentary film. I feel she was connected to the goose in quite a deep way. So, goose, may you look after my sister Jess. May you be companions in your journey. A journey to find us all in remembrance. Jess.
Notice Dom is wearing a Southwark Mysteries t-shirt with the words of the last poem on the back. But I am Mistress Southwark, am the daughter of eternity, and in me the broken man shall be made whole. When we stand at these gates at this oh sorry, I forgot to finish. I didn't send him on. John Constable not only channeled the Goose's works into a book of poetry called The Southwark Mysteries, but he also wrote a modern mystery play, which was produced at the Globe in 2000 as a millennial play. That's why Johnny always got called the Mad Clown of the Apocalypse. It was also put on again 10 years later for 3 nights only at Southwark Cathedral, and that's where Dom and I also played roles in it. It was the most amazing experience, and I'm so glad to see you've got your t-shirt. Does anybody else want to? I was trying to remember what I was going to say when I interrupted myself, but it's all gone now. So does anybody else want to say something? No?
I have a poem about a garden if you want it.
Come and give us a poem about a garden.
10 years later. Yeah, okay.
Jamie, everybody.
So this was written in the gardens of Montjuic. I have a friend who's a journalist, and we sat and we kind of looked out over the hill, and it's a very sacred garden, the top of Barcelona. And the whole thing about the Sagrada Familia with Gaudi was that you couldn't build above where Montjuic was because you can't compete with God's work, apparently. And so that was garden of mystery, and this is garden of mystery as well, I guess. So that's the connection established. Okay, and so my friend made me then write a collaborative poem with him as well, a bit of back and forth. And I'll just read my side of that just now. One day we'll maybe do his bit too. The ominous pen made its way for me. Which world will you dive into this time? Everything already feels like it's here. This window of nature and time that lies before you. All are bound by the mother who tends to her flock. We hope that she is loving, tender, and not severe or worse, indifferent. It's all here for you to judge, determine, all time laid flat, carved in stone. The mind can ponder it at any point. The mind will see the past. Future is there too. We just can't see it yet. We lack the tools. Does this space that knows the past see the light of day, enjoy conversation with its counterpart, or is it locked away because of horrors known? Not its fault. The two must converse for the journey to bear fruit. All of this we cannot know, and yet still we wield the pen, attaching reason to a nature who never asked us to in the first place. We seek to tidy because we must. A momentary closing of the infinite box, only for it to be opened again and again and again. There we are.
That inspired anybody else to say, I'd like to offer something. Yes, see, I knew this would happen. Excellent. Okay. We'll just keep reading. Oh, I know what to do. I'll tell you, when we stand at the gates here, these gates are not just the gates. They don't separate us, the graveyard. These gates become a portal. And not only do they separate us, but they also connect us with each other. This world of the living, in connection with the world of the dead. Daughter of eternity. The world of eternity comes out to meet our world of time. And this, in this kind of mandala space where the worlds blend together, start to dance. This is where the magic happens. This is why I talk as closely to the gates as I possibly can, and why I really don't understand why you look around there. You're very welcome to just come forward and stand closer to the gate. Have you found it?
Hi, I'm B. My heart is really pounding. I've been writing a play about the Winchester geese, very inspired by all of the work that and I'd like to share a little piece of it. I have often wondered how my name might appear on the gravestone. In loving memory, in fondest, sacred memory, in memory of our beloved sister, beloved mother. May she rest in peace. Rest with God. Sister, auntie, mum, friend. Sorely missed. May she rest in peace. Your spirit wanders free. Do you ever wonder how you will be remembered, and by who? I do. I am trapped. Can you release me? Release me from this travesty. The man could not respect us despite being our beneficiary. See, I was only trying to make a go of living. I never cared how you made yours. Here lay your heart. Mine is in the bottom of the tank, in a mass pit. They don't do this to naughty boys and men. Take a look closer, but careful what you see. They took my burial rights away from me. Here lays my heart. Don't stare, don't choke, don't feel pity. Please, God no. I did not choose this resting place of mine, but then neither did you. Would you? Please say no. Say my name. Remember me. I did what I could to have a life and get by. Can you blame me? When lovers hold each other and no money passes through, is that what you expect me to do? Well, I did. I did that too. But it wasn't enough for me to make it. I played with what I had in my hands. I was desirable. It's undeniable. And I was available any time of any given day. Were they angry because I exposed them? They knew exactly what they wanted to do to me, and it's embarrassing. At least I owned it, with my deepest, darkest hood of grey. I had sex out of wedlock. All anyone had to do was knock. And you would. You would do it too. It's happening in just under a month. Yes, yeah. And I'm hoping, I think some volunteers for Crossbones are going to help open for an extra day. And it's an audio journey starting across the bridge at Monument, and it takes listeners past through some of the main points of history in this story, such as Southwark Cathedral, Winchester Palace, and leads people here to Crossbones so that people who don't know about history can learn about it and hopefully start to and beyond with the journey to keep this space safe.
How do we, where, when?
So I really wasn't expecting to. I have some cards, so if anyone would like to, yeah, I will put pass it. Yeah, I will give them to you.
Well done. I didn't bring my copy of Southwark Mysteries with me, so I'm going to dive into this poem, not really sketchy. Come trickster, shaman, prophet and fool, speaking in tongues of the mystery, let all men contend, but let God defend the lineaments of my liberty. Come snake and whistle and rattle and drum, come open me cavern in jubilee, come open me tomb to rattle and boom, and let the bells ring in the liberty. Come Christian, Jew, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, let each to his own true divinity. Let even the blind material mind walk their own hallowed path. But seek not to bind the visions you find when naming the parts of the mystery. When naming the parts, don't miss the heart of my holy liberty. John Constable, John Crow, the Goose. We've come to the end of the ritual, come to the end of this month's vigil, and we've just got one last ritual to do. This is called the blessings. What we do is we bring ourselves as close as we possibly can to the gate. We hold on to the gate. If there's not enough room for you to touch the gate, somebody else can be touching the gate. It's going to act as Jin Jen, and he is going to see the living and the dead in a seal of gin. We reclaim gin like we reclaim so much. The goose is the spirit who comes to reclaim the world that was taken away. We are here in the flesh to reclaim and repossess the spirit and its quest for consummation. We seal ourselves in with this gift, and then we'll begin the two blessings. The first blessing, blessing of the Kolokos, which Tom John brought from the shaman in South America. And the second blessing is called the goose blessing. I will call out a few words or a phrase, and you will repeat it. In the safe knowledge that you're not going to be selling the soul to them. So as one, we cry life,
Life, health,
Health.
happiness,
Happiness.
open
Open
pathways,
Pathways.
Life.
Life.
Health.
Health.
happiness,
Open
open
pathways.
pathways,
Health in the body.
body,
Peace in the spirit.
peace in the spirit,
Love in the heart.
love in the heart,
Health in the body.
health in the body,
Peace in the
peace in the
spirit.
spirit, love in
Love
the
in the
heart.
It is this that
It
we
is
wish
this that we wish
for
for
ourselves,
ourselves,
for our friends
friends and family,
For all our
for all our
brothers
siblings,
and sisters.
for the goose and the crow,
And for all humanity.
and for all humanity.
and for all humanity. It is
It's
this
this
that
that we
we
wish
wish
For
for
ourselves,
ourselves,
for
for our
friends
friends and
family,
family, for all
all
our
our
siblings,
all our brothers and sisters.
for the
for the
goose
goose
and the crow,
and for all
and for all
humanity.
humanity.
And may it be so.
May it be so.
Goose, may you never
Goose, may you never be hungry.
Goose, may you never be hungry.
Goose, may you never be thirsty.
Goose, may you never be thirsty.
Goose, may your spirit fly
Goose, may your
Goose,
spirit
may your
fly
spirit
free.
fly
free.
So she does.
And so she
So
does.
she does.
Yay.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody. Now we're going to say B. We're going to say B so she can hand out her notices to you. I'll draw your attention to the fact there is one more free Crossbones tour, the shortest tour in the world. We start on the outside, we end up on the inside. It's at lunchtime, 12 till 1, and it is in September, on the 19th of September. They are free, but you have to sign up to Eventbrite to get your ticket. Bee's going to hand out information, and I am going to, like God, move through you in a mysterious way, looking for a small donation to help with the expense of running the vigil. That's the end. Thank you very much. Good to see you next month.
Yay, Jen.
Yay, Jen.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you, Natalie.
Bye, Natalie.
Bye, Natalie.
Bye, Nicholas.
Oh,
Bye.
Oh, B.
hooray! Hello, everyone. And hello, the 12 people who are watching on Facebook.
Whoa.
That's a lot of people. So thank you for that. Hello, everyone. It's lovely to see you. Would anyone like to share anything as part of Creative Offerings? Because obviously we don't get really a chance to do that. I've got a poem to read from somebody on Facebook, which will make me cry, but I am going to read it out.
Have a go.
I'm going to do it. Does anybody else want to share anything? There's no requirement to, but just if you want to, this is the space. Because we're still recording and we're still on Facebook. So hello, Doug.
Hello.
Hello, Doug.
Oh, hi,
That's
Doug.
all right. Hello. Right, shall I read the Facebook poem
Yeah,
out?
B, I'll do a little one as well.
That
from
would be
Mysteries
lovely.
After, but you do yours.
I'll do mine and then you do yours, John. That would be lovely. So this is from Claire Keeley, and it is May We Raise Children Who Love the Unloved Things by Nicolette Sauder. May we raise children who love the unloved things, the dandelion, the worms and spiderlings, children who sense the rose needs the thorn, and run into rain-swept days, the same way they turn towards sun. And when they're grown, and someone has to speak for those who have no voice, May they draw upon that wilder bond, those days of tending tender things, and be the ones. There.
That's lovely. Thank you.
Isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Claire, on Facebook for sharing that. It's perfect. Thank you. Claire says, sorry, B. It's all right, Claire. I prepared myself for reading it and I did it all right. It's all right. Thank you. John, would you like to share something?
Well, I thought it's something you, all right, Katie's putting me in the middle, but yeah, I thought I'd do the end bit of the mysteries, because firstly, I just wanted to say it's lovely to drop in again and see it all happening. And I thought Jen was really on fire tonight.
Yes.
And yeah, lovely to hear new voices and all of that. And to see Dom Search. And when he turned his T-shirt and we got the closing words of the mysteries. So I think I'll do that. Maybe I'll just do the end bit of the Book of the Magdalene, because that is really the fulfillment of the goose's prophecy. And I feel that in so many ways, although we can't ever relax totally with Crossbones or it'll come round and surprise us again, but in so many ways, it does feel that it's fulfilled in many ways through all of us and what we're doing and continue to do. So thanks everybody for that. Lovely to see old friends. I know Ruth was on and Douglas and Nicholas. Hello, everybody. So the end of the Book of the Magdalene. Here we go. Entombed in the shadow of Bedlam, the Imperial Museum of War, in the Garden of Peace, the Winchester geese consort with Kuan Yin and the Magdalene whore. In the wards of old Guy's leaden tower, in the Elephant and Castle subway, they graffiti her name, she who comes to reclaim the world that was taken away. On the steps of St. George the Martyr, red-eyed and roaring, a bum did totter and sway and topple and splay and stutter the words, she is come. She is come out of Egypt by Greenwich, upriver the dogs to her right, along the black beach around Limehouse Reach with the city of London in sight. In Cathedral, Provost may ponder if he should unbar the great door with a wink and a nod to the glory of God in the guise of an unredeemed whore. Let Bishop's crook offer him counsel, ways and means for the door to unjam. If needs must be seen that the whore be washed clean of her sin in the blood of the Lamb, then let it be so. But then let it go, the guilt and the shame and the sin. Let go of the law that made her a whore, and then for God's sake, let her in, let in, let in. Let no colour of skin nor creed debar other from ceremony. Let the gong of Tibet bong out an octet with the bells of St. Mary Ovary. Let not the letter of the law deny the spirit liberty, nor burn my book of pictures, which it take for rank idolatry. For I am the Mistress Southwark, am the daughter of eternity, and in me the broken man shall be made whole. As merrily we wenden on our pilgrimage, who knows what wonders yet to see, along the winding track of time on our journey home from Canterbury to Southwark. Bless you.
Southwark.
To Southwark.
Oh, John, I feel emotional hearing you say that. Oh, I'm crying.
Oh, bless you.
There's some excitement on Facebook, John, that you were doing that, because some people on Facebook don't know who you are. And you are like a legendary spirit that they're like, is that John Crow? So
rest assured, I don't always know who I am, Jackie.
None of us do we? We're like, we're just doing our best, aren't we?
We're doing our best within the mystery.
We're doing our best. There
You're
we
looking
go.
fabulous. You really are. You're shining,
You. So
Jackie.
are you.
Oh,
Oh, how lovely. Thank you. Facebook said thank you for coming to bless us, John, with your
well,
presence.
bless
Thank
us
you.
all.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. What a lovely, lovely vigil.
Yeah.
And I
Isn't it?
have enjoyed our little Zoom corner at the end, which we have now, which is very nice, and
Yeah.
our Facebook corner. So, yeah, so thank you.
Thank you. We're off in a minute, but I want,
Yeah.
Nick, lovely to see
Hey, lovely to see you, John.
Oh,
And
bless you.
we're
Here's Katie.
always connected.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
Katie.
Deep connections. We were at this little festival this weekend and we didn't know a single person there, but everybody we talked to started connecting back. There were people who'd been at Green Angels in
Oh, wow.
the end of the last
Oh,
millennium.
Green
It was just so
Angels.
powerful.
Goodness
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
We
goodness.
go deep like
We do.
mycelium, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Fantastic.
beautiful. Yeah. It's
Hey, love you
lovely.
all.
Love you, John.
Love
Love you,
you.
Katie.
Love you all.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone, for being here. Thank you, Facebook,
Douglas.
for being here.
Douglas.
Douglas.
And
Yes,
Francine.
Douglas. Francine is here. And Beth.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Beth.
lovely. Such
Thank
a
you
lovely
all.
vigil. Thank you, everyone. Let's end then. Let's say goodbye. Bye, Facebook.
Bye.
Bye.
Sean.
Bye.
Douglas.
Oh,
Oh.
let's put candles.
I know, they're beautiful. Douglas does well with his backgrounds. It's lovely. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye. You all right, Doug?
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I've been thinking it's Saturday today all day.
Oh, not to worry. It's all right. I'm glad you got here for the end.
I remembered the middle of the week.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right. The days are strange, aren't they? So
Lovely to see you, Doug.
thank you. It is lovely. Thank
And
you,
you
everyone.
doing well.